Hey guys, it's Mr. Walker here. Welcome to another math lesson, math video with Mr. Walker. You might be thinking to yourself, Mr. Walker, you kind of look like a bum today. You got a t-shirt on, you're wearing a hat, like what's going on? Well, part of the reason is we're doing some real world math work today, okay? So we've been learning about a lot of these skills in isolation as far as multiplying multiple digit numbers and going through the standard algorithm and all that kind of stuff, which is great, but a lot of the times when you encounter math, in the real world, it's not going to be just like multiply these two numbers. Like you're going to have to do some thinking about it, do some problem solving, and along in that problem solving, you're going to be doing some multiplication. So I'm wearing my real world clothes today. I got my lightning shirt on, got a hat on. I'm ready to go, and this has nothing to do with my lack of laundry and or lack of preparation in making this video. Not the case whatsoever. Just wanted to make a connection between what we're doing today, between our math and isolation that we've been learning as far as multiple digit multiplication and how that's going to look in the real world. So what we're going to do is in this video we're going to solve a couple word problems today, a couple real life word problems that are going to involve some multiple steps and get some practice at using the standard algorithm to solve these problems. Okay, so gather up whatever materials you need, something to write on, something to write with, definitely would be good. Some of these examples are going to come right from a problem set, so you might want to look in the module and see if that's available for download, or if you have a paper copy of it, you can follow along with us as well. So once you got those things ready, go ahead and click play and we'll keep going. Alright guys, let's take a look at this first problem here. Here it says an office space in New York City measures 48 feet by 56 feet. If it sells for $565 per square foot, what's the total cost of the office space? Okay, so in the real world, you might encounter this when you guys are big business professionals working in New York City. You might have to buy some square footage of something, right? A lot of times you might see this too if you guys are ever in your house, maybe you've put down some new flooring, new carpet, something like that, and you have to figure out like the price per square foot. Like it's going to tell you this is how much it costs for a square foot. What are you going to need for the total? So these situations will come up in life from time to time for sure. So when I see this, the first thing that I want to do, of course, as always, is draw a picture. I want to map this out and see exactly what it is that I'm dealing with. So we have that office space. It measures 48 feet by 56 feet. Okay, so I'm just going to draw something that it kind of looks like that. Okay, so we'll say that this is 48 feet. And this over here would be 56 feet. Okay, so that's what the office space is going to look like. It's a rectangle, right? And it sells for $565 per square foot. So if I were to divide this up into 48 feet going this way, I'm not going to do it perfectly because I'll never be able to fit it all in there. But and if I did it the same way with 56 feet going this way, all right, we kind of get the idea here. Each one of these squares would cost that $565, which when you think of it that way, is kind of a crazy amount of money, right? But this is New York City. It's popular. People want to live there, so the more money it's going to cost per square foot. Anyway, off topic here, but it's going to be $565 for each one of those feet. So I need to find out, well, how many of those square feet am I going to have altogether, okay? So using what I know about area, I know if I multiply these two numbers, 48 and 56, that's going to give me the area. That's going to give me the total number of square feet that I have. So let's do that first. I'm going to multiply 48 times 56. I'm going to give you guys a second, try this out, pause the video, let it pause, work it through, and then let's check and see what we get. Alright, awesome. When I multiply these two numbers together, using my standard algorithm here, I'm going to get 2,688 square feet. So that means that there's actually 2,688 squares within this office space here, which is great. Except now we're going to pay $565 for each one of those squares. So I'm going to pay that $565 2,688 times. And times, that's a keyword, that trigger word for me here to know that I'm going to have to do that 2,688 and I'm going to multiply or times that by 565. Alright guys, so we know that the next step here is we're going to have to take that 565 and we're going to have to multiply it by 2,688. The reason being is because each one of those squares is $565. We have 2,688 of those square feet. So we're going to have to do that $565. We're going to have to do that 2,688 times. So I know that's going to be a big problem with a lot of steps in it. That standard algorithm is going to get really kind of intense in there. It could get kind of confusing. So there's a couple different ways that I want to show you, a couple different strategies I use to help me keep things straight when I need to. First and foremost, if you're doing this on paper, I have here like an example, right? I have my lined paper here, and I turned it sideways, and I put each digit in another line. So now when I multiply through, I can keep all my place value nice and neat and lined up on that paper, okay? So if you have something like that, that would be a good thing to use. Sometimes I've seen people use different colors when they get to each product, like a color for multiplying by the ones, and then another color for multiplying by the tens, another color for multiplying by the hundreds. Either one of those strategies would work great. On my end of things here, I'm actually going to get rid of some of this stuff. Move this out of the way, my first picture that I drew. And again, you guys don't ever have to erase any work that you draw out. I'm just erasing it here so I have more space on my board. But I've put in some lines and some boxes here to help me kind of keep track of everything as I multiply through. So now when I set this problem up of my 2,688 times 565, I can keep everything kind of straight in here as I multiply through. Everything's going to have a spot. Nothing's going to get confused or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and go through my steps here, have everything set up. I'm going to go through, use the standard algorithm, follow my step through. I want you guys to try it as well. Try it out, pause the video, let it pause, do whatever you need to do, and then when you're ready, when you think you have your answer, press play, and then we'll go over it together, make sure we're on the same page. Alright guys, so when I go through here and I multiply all these, and I use different colors, again, I kind of use two strategies here just to help me keep track of everything. When I multiplied through, I end up with a total of 1,518,720. So that's how much it's going to cost for that New York City office space, which is incredible. I guess I will not be purchasing an office space in New York City anytime soon, but that's okay. Pretty happy here where we're at. Anyway, so as you go through, you're going to find each one of those partial products. You got to remember to put those placeholders in, right? For the first one, we're multiplying by 5, multiplying by those ones. I'm okay without putting the placeholder in. The next one, multiplying by 10, I needed to put in that placeholder. And then multiplying by 100, I needed to put in 2 placeholders, right? It's also important to remember that each time you're kind of like regrouping or renaming over here, that every time you use one of these, you don't have to use them again. So when I would do like when I got all the way out here in the end, for 5 times 8 gave me 40, and I put that 4 up here. 5 times 8 on this one, I don't have to do plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. I only have to do that last 4 that I put in there. Okay, so keep that in mind. If it helps you to cross out every time you go through and you use them, do that as well. Whatever helps you keep track of what you're doing here. Okay, but that's the total you should end up with on the end. If I can give you guys a secret, don't tell anybody this, but the first time I did this recording through, I got the wrong answer too. Okay, just a simple fact of not lining things up properly, getting confused with the numbers that I'm carrying and stuff like that. It happens to all of us. So take your time. It's not a race. Make sure that you're doing it right. Make sure that you're lining things up properly. You're regrouping when you need to. And make sure of your multiplication facts. When it comes down to it, you got to make sure you're multiplying correctly all the way through. So that's the answer you should get for that one. That's what the total cost for the office space is going to be. Not too shabby, right? Let's try one more of these. All right, so here we have Gemma and Leah, right? And they're both jewelry makers. They make beaded necklaces, it looks like. Gemma made 106 beaded necklaces, and Leah made 39 more necklaces than Gemma. So we don't know how much Leah made, but we know that she made 39 more. So right there telling me we're going to have to do some problem solving there. Each necklace they make has exactly 104 beads on it. All right, how many beads did both girls use all together while they're making their necklaces? So a couple key things I want to point out here as we're going through this. I looked for some important information, just some things that kind of caught my attention on the first read through. I'm going to go back and read it again. They're both jewelry makers, okay, not too important for this for right now. But we know that Gemma made 106 beaded necklaces, okay, so that's Gemma. Leah made 39 more. So we don't know how much she made, but we know she made 39 more. So I just like to kind of like highlight those numbers to bring my attention to them. All right, and then it says each necklace they made has exactly 104 beads on it. Oh, and here's where our question comes in. How many beads did both girls use all together? So that keyword there, all together, right? That's telling me kind of like a sum, right? So I know I'm going to be doing some addition in here somewhere. I'm also probably going to be doing some multiplication because they have 104 beads like per necklace. So each necklace has that, and then I'm going to have to do that however many times of necklaces that they made, which I don't know quite yet. So a couple different steps going on here. So let's start to map this out. Again, you guys know me by now, or hopefully you do. But I like to draw pictures, right, to kind of help me get things straight here. So I'm going to say that, let's see, do this for Gemma here. She made 106 beaded necklaces. So we know she made 106 necklaces. Leah made 39 more necklaces. So she made the same amount as Gemma, but then she made 39 more. So basically right there, we're going to have 106 plus 39. That's going to tell us how much Leah made. Okay? Why do we need to know how much she made? Well, if we look down here, it says how many beads did the girls use all together. So that's definitely something we're going to need to know how many necklaces they made, then how many beads were in each necklace to figure out how many beads they used all together. A couple steps here, but we're getting there. Okay. So let's figure this out first. Leah, 106 plus 39. Let's go ahead and do that. Why don't you guys go ahead and work that out as well, and then we'll get back together, we'll compare it and see what we get. All right, so I got 145. Hopefully you guys got that as well. So we know that Leah now, I can even readjust this if I want to. And we could say that Leah made 145 necklaces. So that's easy enough. So now looking at the next part though, it says each necklace they make has exactly 104 beads. How many beads did they use? So we need to figure out how many necklaces they made all together, and then how many beads are on each of those necklaces. So there are like two different approaches we could take here, right? So we could look and see, okay, I could do how many beads Gemma used by multiplying her 106 necklaces by 104, because that would tell me how many beads she used. Then I could do the same thing for Leah, right? And that would tell me how many beads she used, and then I could take those two totals and I could add them up together. Add those two totals, those two products. I could add up those two products together to get a total amount of beads, okay? So that's one strategy we can use. Do you guys have another strategy, another idea that we could use to try to solve this problem? Yeah, you're right. So another thing we could do is we could total up their necklaces first, the amount of necklaces they have first, and then multiply that by the amount of beads they used. So we could find the total 106, 145, and we could take that and multiply that by 104, and that would give us the total amount of beads used. So I'm going to let you guys choose whatever strategy you want to use, whatever steps you want to take. Go ahead and work it through, get your answer, and then we'll come back here and we'll talk about it. All right, guys, hopefully you got some really good answers out there. So this is what I did. First off, I added up the necklaces they made, so both amounts of necklaces that they made. So we have the 106 from Gemma, the 145 from Leah. I added those up and got 251. So I knew that they made 251 necklaces together, right? So that's good, but we're wanting to know how many beads did they use altogether. So if they used 104 beads in each necklace and they made 251 necklaces, they're doing that 104 beads 251 times. You multiply that through and we're going to get 26,104. Again, I have to use my place value. This was a tricky one again. Not as big of numbers, but still had 3 digits by 3 digits. That takes up a lot of space. So I kept everything organized here. I used my place value holders, my placeholders here to make sure I was multiplying by the right place value, and it all worked out okay. And this one, because I took my time and lined everything up, I didn't make a mistake the first time, so that's good. So altogether, they used 26,104 beads. So that would be our answer. 26,104 beads. Okay, it's always good to kind of label your answer things out so people know exactly what your answer is there. So, perfect. That's awesome. So hopefully this helps you guys to see that multiplication does exist in the real world, and you are going to use it in the real world from time to time. It's not going to happen so much in isolation. You're going to have problems come up or ideas that you're going to need to work through and see how you need to use that multiplication to help you out. So I encourage you guys to practice this a bit more today. Please reach out if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. And I appreciate you guys for watching, and have fun multiplying, guys. All right, we'll talk to you soon.